What is the Python programming language? To answer this question, we should first start with another question, that is, why was Python created? So around 1980s, there is a research lab in Netherlands called CWI, which is famous for their work in computer science and mathematics. And you may know many famous people that work there. For example, Dijkstra, which is known for his famous shortest path graph algorithm, was working in CWI, and many other famous computer scientists. So CWI started to create a new programming language, and that programming language is called ABC. The purpose of developing ABC was to create a new programming language that is easy to understand for developers, and it enables non-computer scientists to write programs like a physicist or like a chemist that just wants to do some computation and needs to write a program, so he or she can just easily use ABC instead of a programming language with a very hard structure to learn. So they started to develop ABC in around 1980s. And this is just a simple program written in ABC. So if you look at it, you will see that all the keywords are in uppercase. For declaring the scopes, they use indentation instead of curly braces. And if you, for example, look at the if statement or for loop, you will see that they are sort of similar to what we have right now as Python programming language. So ABC was interesting, but it has a problem. And the problem was that ABC had a monolithic implementation, meaning that it was not really flexible to make changes to it, and it was not capable to adapt to new requirements because it was not able to directly interact with the operating system and even the file system. So for that reason, and also another reasons like funding, CWI decided to stop the ABC project. So CWI started another project which is called Amoeba, which is the operating system for distributed systems. And the idea of the Amoeba OS was from Andrew Tannenbaum, that you may know him from his famous books, especially on operating system. And one of the people that was also working in the Amoeba OS was Guido van Rossem, which is the creator of Python. And he was previously working on the ABC language, but since the project stopped, he just started his new work in the Amoeba OS project, but it's still in the same lab. So the reason for developing Amoeba OS was that they wanted to create a new operating system for distributed systems in a way that from the user's perspective, everything looks like a single computer, and the user can easily interact with that computer using this operating system. And there is a nice paper on this Amoeba OS, so if you want to read more about it, just search about this title on the internet and you will find the paper. And this is like the UI of the Amoeba OS. So it was really interesting. Like, it has a website that if you go there, it's not working now, but back in the time, if you were able to go there, you could just see the operating system and work with that. And it has a really user interface close to Mac OS, and it was because it was inspired by Macintosh. So they started to work on Amoeba OS. Guido found it hard to write programs for Amoeba OS because they only had two options, and it was writing programs in C or using shell script. Just a reminder that back in the time, it was not like that you can find many open source packages or libraries and just include them in your code and use them. So it was pretty hard to write different kind of programs. So, and remember that NCC just published in 1989, which is like the first version of C programming language that actually had a set of standard libraries. Before that, there was no standard libraries for C. And although it was available by the time that Guido had this problem, but the problem was that these standard library implementations and things like that were not completely matched and implemented in the compilers. So it was not really working by that time. And therefore, Guido just decided to implement a new programming language called Python, and it started to develop it from December 1989. And the first version was published in 1991. So the programming language Python is heavily inspired by ABC, and many of the concepts are just coming from there. But it also solved the problems that Guido was seeing in the ABC program. And in one of the interviews, he said that when I joined the ABC program development team, I was seeing some language design flaws, but I was not able to speak up about them because it was too late, and maybe even if I was able to speak up, there was nothing that we could do about it. So he just tried to has his own ideas about ABC and kind of improve it, and then he created Python. And so that's the whole idea behind Python. So now we know that Python is a high-level general purpose programming language, and the focus is on code readability. So before Python programming language, most of the programming languages were only focused on portability, meaning that you write a program that you can just move it from one computer with a different architecture to a computer with another different architecture, and it should be able to compile and run. But Guido states another issue, that was code readability, which is important too, because it enables different developers to work on the same code. It enables many people to start writing programs, not just computer science specialists, and many more. So Python version 2 was released in 2000, and Python 3 was released in 2008. And if you want to know more about the philosophy of Python, you can just import a Python interpreter, and in that just write import this. And if you do that, you will see something like this, which is called the Zen of Python, written by Tim Peters. And that's it. Now you know why we have Python programming language.